was the size of the soul? Anybody can answer?
1 by 10,000.
Tip of the hair.
1 by 10,000, the tip of the hair. That is Keshagrashada Bhagasya. And what is the size of Paramatma? The super soul?
8 inches,
Size of the
Mataji.
thumb.
The
8
distance
inches
between the
or
thumb and the forefinger.
thumb and the
Ring finger, sorry, Mataji. Ring finger.
ring finger. Okay.
8
So,
inches. No?
8 inch, yeah. So we stopped here. That it says Dehinosmini Yada Dehi Kaumaram Yavalam Chara Tada Dehamdara Prapti Dhirastatrana Mukhyati. Okay, like a great soul is not bewildered by such a change. Okay. So the body keeps changing, but the soul is the same. So Krishna says, what is there to be worried? Because Bhishma and Drona, anyway, they're going to get a spiritual body, or they can even go to heavenly planets. So in both the ways, you don't have to worry. There is no cause of lamentation. That's not because he had an indecision, right? Whether to fight or not. Back level, a lot of okay, so we'll go to the 14th sloka. It says, Matra Sparshasta Kaundeya Shitoshna Siddhata Agamapaino Anityas Tamsi Dikshasa Bharata. So Krishna is saying that, O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress, they are disappearance in due course. Alike appearance and disappearance of winter and summer season. They arise from sense perception, O son of Bharata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. So this is like a high stage. Thus, initially, yes, there is disturbances. So that doesn't mean when if we know that we are spirit soul, not this body, doesn't mean we should not cry when somebody near and dear ones leave us, right? So devotee cannot be like a stone who doesn't have any feelings. Prabhupada means we can be not attached, but we can be affectionate. Like Mithura. Mithura was affectionate to Dhritarashtra, right? So initially during the war, he left the kingdom, and later on he came back to give transcendental advice to Dhritarashtra. That's the quality of Vidura. So here, it means that we should not go into depression. We should move on. We should take it as the transmigration of soul. So here, happiness and distress, like summer and winter, keeps coming and going. So, so he says, Krishna says, we should learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. What does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say about this? Who knows? Can raise a digital hand about being tolerant. Like what? Mahaprabhu compares the tolerance to what? Risharanya Mataji?
A blade of glass.
Mataji, Mahaprabhu tells Trinadapi Sunichena Taroriva Sahishna. In that he tells that we have to be tolerant like a tree.
Tree, very good. So what happens to a tree? Like a tree, how much ever you throw stones at it to get the fruits, or hit it with a knife, or whatever it is, try to cut it or anything. The tree, what it does, it gives you shade, it gives the fruits, it gives the all the necessary things what we want, even the firewood. So, but then it doesn't. It tolerates everything. So that's what Trinadapi Sunichena. Tarorapi Saksha. Tarorapi. Taro is like a tree, right? To be tolerant. So here, that tolerance level will come as we advance in devotional service. Initially, it will be difficult. So Prabhupada says in the purport, one has to take a bath early in the morning every day. That even during the month of Magha, that is January, February, it's very cold at that time. But in spite of that, a man who abides by the religious principle does not hesitate to take his bath. Similarly, a woman doesn't hesitate to cook in the kitchen, even in the months of May and June, the hottest part of the summer season, and one has to execute his duty in spite of climatic inconveniences. Similarly, to fight is the religious principle of a Kshatriya, and although one has to fight with some friend or relative, one should not deviate from his prescribed duty. Right? So as a Kshatriya, Arjuna is supposed to fight here. And so this is an analogy. Such questions can be expected in your Bhakti Shastri exam, closed book, where these analogies will be asked, like a woman cooking in the kitchen during hot season, or a man trying to take bath early in the morning. What is it compared to? Similar, Kshatriya, whatever happens, he has to fight, even if it's friend or relative. He should not deviate from the prescribed duty. To die in the battlefield is more glorious than losing the battle or running away. So here, Arjuna is addressed in two forms, no? Two way, Kaunteya and Bharata. Why? Have raised hands. Who's Kaunteya? Why is called Kaunteya or why is Bharata? Siddharth Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Kaunteya, son of Kunti.
Yes.
So he's Kaunteya. Others are also sons of Kunti, but he is reminded of his clan, the great clan, and also his relationship, Lord Krishna's relationship with Kunti.
Yeah.
And
Bharata?
from Bharata, he's the clan of Bharata Vamsha. It's a great clan where most of the illustrious kings were there.
Okay. So Mamta
Right.
Mataji, so Bharata is basically from which side now?
Bharata is the whole earth actually. It was a one time, right?
What?
Father's side, Mataji?
Yeah.
It's from
Very
Pandu.
good. Yes, Mataji,
Bharata
Bharata
is
was
Pandu
there.
side. That is his father's side. That is Pandu side. Now Kaunteya because the Kunti Maharani, so that is mother's side. So in both the way, Arjuna is related to Krishna, right? What is the connection, relation between Kunti Maharani and Krishna's father, Vasudeva?
They were
She is
brother and sister, no?
Yeah.
brother
Cousin,
sister.
brother and sister.
Siblings.
In that way, they become cousins, no? Again. So there's so many relationship between Krishna and Arjuna here. So here, it's very important to know that, okay, eternally also they are associates. Okay, Arjuna and Krishna is associates eternally. He's in Shakasaki. So, yeah, somebody asked a question. In Dwapar Yuga, Krishna appeared as in Dwapar Yuga. And Dwapar Yuga in Vrindavan, there was so many pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan, right? And Vishaka Saki was there. So when the Kurukshetra war is also happening towards the end of Dwapar Yuga and beginning of Kali Yuga. At that time, Arjuna is also there. So how is it possible? Because Arjuna has himself is Vishaka Saki, right? So how is it possible that there is? You got my question? Like Arjuna is Vishaka Saki. So in Dwapar Yuga, Krishna had his pastimes with, Mausami Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. I didn't know that, but I listened from Mataji that Vishaka Saki is in Corridor is Ramanand Rai, and she is not Arjuna, I think.
Huh? He's Ramananda Rai.
Yes, in
Vishaka Saki has come as Ramananda Rai and he himself is Arjuna, right?
I don't know Mataji, but I listened from one Mataji. I asked her that she said no, Vishaka Saki is not Arjuna. I don't know.
The voice is not so clear. No. Arjuna himself came as Ramananda Rai in Kali Yuga when Krishna came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That you are right. But Arjuna himself is Vishaka Saki. He is from Goloka. He is the incarnation of Vishaka Saki, Lalita Vishaka. And so during Dwapar Yuga, Krishna's appearance happened and he had the pastime. Nandita Mataji, you know. So in Vishaka Saki is there in Vrindavan, right? With Radharani and all. So same time Arjuna is there also there, no, in Dwapar Yuga. Okay, this is like expansions. Like Krishna, when he comes and does his pastime in Vrindavan, does it mean Krishna is not there in Goloka Vrindavan? When Narad Muni went to Dwaraka, Krishna was there in 108 palaces. In one palace, he was with Satyamama, in one palace with Rukmini, in one palace with Jambavati. In every palace, 108 palace, Krishna was there in different forms, but Krishna was there. In the sense, as a father, as a husband, playing with children, so many ways. But so Narad Muni got shocked. So at the same time, he was there in Goloka Vrindavan also. At the same time, he is in Mathura. So the Lord can expand, right? Similarly, his associates can also expand. So Vishaka Saki never leaves Vrindavan, like Radharani never leaves Vrindavan. Vrindavana paritijya padam ekam na gacchati. They doesn't take a step outside Vrindavan. So they always in Vrindavan. So Vishaka Saki is in Vrindavan. But Arjuna never went to Vrindavan, right? Arjuna is in Dwaraka and might be Kurukshetra and all that places. But he never went to there. So that same time, that means Krishna can expand. Similarly, his associates can also expand. Okay. Avinashi tu tadviti yena sarvam idam tatam. Vinasham avyayasya yasya nakaschit kartumarhati. That which pervades the entire body, you should know to be indestructible. No one is able to destroy that imperishable soul. So the soul cannot be destroyed. Nainam chindate shastrani, nainam tahati pavaka. So it cannot be burnt into burnt, or it cannot be cut into pieces. No, all nothing, no destruction can happen to the soul. No one will be able to destroy because the soul is imperishable. Okay. Srila Prabhupada mentioning about Arjuna as Vishaka Saki. Yeah, you take, go to Chaitanya Charitamrita. In Chaitanya Charitamrita also, when he says that Krishna came, Arjuna came as Ramananda Rai. That time there it is mentioned. What is spread all over the body? It is the consciousness. So consciousness is the one who's actually, so we discussed about the 5 different types of consciousness. No, so symptom of the soul means what? The presence of individual consciousness. That is what the symptom of the soul is. So we saw the size of the soul is Kesha Grashada Bhagasya. When the upper point of the hair is divided to 100 parts, and again each part is further divided to 100 parts, each such part is a measurement of dimension of the spirit soul. That means we cannot see the soul. It's such a small one. So this is what I said. No, yes, that last week we were discussing the soul sits in the heart, but where is the soul in the plants and all? Where the 5 kinds of air resides: the prana, apana, jnana, samana, udhana. So these are the 5 kinds of air concentrates in a place, and there's where the soul resides in plants. It's situated within the heart and spreads its influence all over the body of the embodied living entities. So it is said that from the heart, heart, from the heart, the energy of the body is generated, in the sense pumping of the blood and everything happens. No, so in lungs the oxygenation and everything happens, but then it's actually the pumping is done from the mainly from the heart, right, through the arteries and the veins. So heart is the center actually. So it is in a material way, but in the spiritual way, yes, heart is the center because the soul is situated in the heart and its influence is spread all over the body as consciousness. So these are the 5 kinds of air which I said, that prana, apana, vyana, samana and udana. So here it is said, the next sloka says, Na jayate nriyate va kadashin nayam bhutva pavitavana bhuya ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano nahanyate hanyamane sharire. So for the soul, there is neither birth nor death at any time. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing. He is Sachidananda, right? Unborn. So that means the material body is born, but then the soul is eternal. Okay, Sat, Chit and Ananda. It's full of knowledge and bliss, like the Lord. So in qualitatively, we are same with the Lord, and quantitatively, we are not. What does that mean? What philosophy is that?
Kshetrajna.
Achinta Beda Beda.
Achinta.
Achinta Beda Beda Tattvam. Good. So Kshetrajna, that is yes, soul and super soul, the body and the field of the body and the knower of the body. But then this philosophy, this tattva of oneness with the Lord in quality, the same time we are one with the Lord in quality and different from the Lord in quality, was given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Achinta Beda Abeda Tattva. Same time, simultaneously we are same with the Lord as well as different from the Lord. Okay, so the body will undergo 6 kinds of transformations. So what are they? Who knows?
Mataji, like birth, growth, sustenance, products, dwelling, and death.
Yes. So this kind of transformation, it is for the body actually, no? It's not for the soul. So okay. So the sun and the clouds. Who know the analogy? Sun and the clouds. Prabhupada mentions in the purport.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
Yes, the sun is always there. When it is covered by the cloud, doesn't mean, and we don't see the sun, doesn't mean sun is not there. Sun is always there. And
Okay.
that's
Similarly,
similarly, God is always there, right?
yeah,
Even we don't see.
Krishna is always there. Yes, Prithvi Mataji, anything to add?
Mataji, soul is present in the body even if we don't see Mataji.
Okay, it is present in our body, but we are not able to perceive it or see it. Yes. Okay. So clouds are covering the sun. Can cloud cover the sun?
They don't cover the sun. We see it like that.
Yeah,
If you
why?
ask.
They're not covering clouds are not covering the sun, but it's covering what?
It covers our vision.
Our
Our
vision.
vision,
So
our sense.
our
Yes.
vision is, so sun cannot be covered by the clouds. One might be in one part of the place you are not able to see the sun, but other part if you go you can see the sun. So the cloud is not actually covering the sun; it's covering your vision. So similarly, ignorance is covering us. It's not covering Krishna. Maya cannot cover Krishna because Maya is his energy. Devi Hesha Gunamai Mama Maya Dulate Amameva Ve Prabatandi Maya Idam Parante. Mama Maya, Krishna says, this is his energy. Right, Maya Devi. So she cannot cover Krishna, she covering us. So the sun and the clouds. And who is responsible for the clouds? Who is
Krishna.
responsible for the clouds?
Sun.
Sun, right? Because the sun evaporates the water in the ocean and the water vapors goes there and then we know how the clouds are formed. So who is responsible for the dismission of the clouds?
Air.
Sun only.
Sun only.
Yeah, the
Sun
sun
only does.
creates the clouds and sun only dismisses the clouds. Similarly, Krishna only creates Maya. He only takes care of Maya or he only dismisses her. So in the sense, Krishna can make the Mahamaya into Yoga Maya for us. So Krishna is compared to a sun. Why? Why Krishna is compared to sun?
Because he can dispel the ignorance.
Very good. So that means like a sun can dispel darkness, right? So wherever there is sun, there is no darkness. Right now there is darkness around us. Why? Because there's no sun. So it is said in Chaitanya
And
Charitamrita.
also, Mataji, he's Apapa Buddham, no? That is, even the whatever infectious, how the sun
Yes.
cannot. The same way.
Yeah, in impurities. So it is said in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna Surya Sama Maya Maya Antaka Yaha Krishna Taha Nahi Maya Ra Adhikara. Krishna Surya Sama. Krishna is like sun. Maya Haya Antakar. Maya is like darkness. Yaha Krishna Taha Nahi Maya Ra Adhikara. Wherever there is Krishna, there is no darkness. I mean, wherever there is sun, there is no darkness. Similarly, wherever there is Krishna, there is no Maya. So Krishna is compared to sun because of that reason, because he can dispel all the ignorance and darkness. As Mataji said, sun can make everything pure, right? The sunlight can make even the urine pure. It can even purify the urine. Similarly, Krishna also can purify us, right? His Mahamantra can do Cheta Darpana Marjana. But does the sun gets impaired because of that? No. Like, right, you take a mop and clean your floor, the mop get dirty, you need to clean it up. But when the sunlight absorbs any impurity, does it become impure? No. Similarly, Krishna can take away all the impurities from you, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Malsarya, but he doesn't become impure. So in that way, Krishna is compared to a sun, because sun, and when in universal form, when Krishna showed the universal form, what was Arjuna comparing it to? The universal form to? The 11th chapter?
Thousands
of
are aroused
suns.
in the sky.
Yeah, so what is that effulgence coming from Krishna known as?
Brahmajyoti.
The Brahmajyoti or the Brahmana, the Brahmajyoti. So it is compared to thousands of suns, effulgence. So that is so many reasons why Krishna is compared to a sun. So we are Anu Atma, we are very small, and Krishna is Vibhu Atma. Okay. So the example given is for Anu and Vibhu to show that we are just a drop, Krishna is the whole. An example?
Ocean and the drop of ocean.
Ocean.
Yeah, very nice. Who said?
He is also declaring himself Aham
Ocean and the
Ravi.
drop. What else, Prabhu?
I was
He
saying
said,
that he is also declaring himself as his Vibhuti, like Aham Ravi Anshuman. So
yeah,
also
he himself.
that
Yeah, right. Yeah, he says, When he says Prabhasri Shashi Surya, he is the sun and
Jyotishanam Aham Shashi.
Nakshatra Maham Shashi. So he says, yeah, he says he himself declared that he is the sun. And so as Prabhu said, yes, drop of water, drop of ocean water and the ocean. So drop of water is ocean water is also salty. The ocean is also salty, but in quantity it is very small. And what about the spark of fire and fire? Right, the spark also can burn you, and the fire is the whole. The gold mine and the gold ornaments. So the gold mine has a lot of gold in it, and the ornaments are very tiny. So we are like that, very tiny, and the whole thing is Krishna. So that is the examples. So Krishna defeats Arjuna's argument of compassion. Okay, 11 to 30. So Arjuna had 5 reasons not to fight. One was compassion, right? So Krishna is defeating it from 11 to 30, saying that we are not this body, we are spirit soul. So why you are compassionate for that body, right? Like somebody is drowning and you're trying to save the coat or the dress. You're supposed to save that person. So similarly, we are trying to save the body, not the spirit soul. For the soul, there is neither birth nor death at any time, right? It's eternal. So a murderer should be condemned to death so that in his next life, he will not have to suffer for the great sin he has committed. Therefore, the things, because when you kill somebody, next life that you will get, or next life or any life, you will get killed by that person. So that's why meat eating is one of the breaking one of the regulatory principles, because meat eating will destroy which component in us? Anybody can say?
Himsa.
Compassion or mercy, right? So the mercy or the compassion part get destroyed when the meat eating happens. So that's why it is very important to follow that regulatory principles of no meat eating. So the king's punishment of hanging a murderer is actually beneficial. Why? Because because the karma gets finished there itself, or else again he has to take another birth to finish up that karma. Similarly, when Krishna orders fighting, must be concluded the violence is for the supreme justice, and thus Arjuna should follow the instructions. Whatever happens, Arjuna should follow whatever Krishna says, because it's for all good. Vasamsa jirnani yada vihaya navani gritani naroparani tata sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyadi navani dehi. As a person puts on new garments, giving up old ones, the soul similarly accepts the new material body, giving up the old and useless ones. Okay, so the body is compared to like a garment where you can just, when the dress get dirty or old, you change and put another dress. So similarly, it is said the soul accepts new body, and when the old body is useless, it gives up. So this is what transmigration picture is. So the transference of the atomic individual soul to another body is made possible by the grace of the super soul. So super soul actually sanctions it. Karmana Deva Netrena. So according to our karma, Deva Netrena, Krishna decides where we go. So the super soul fulfills the desire. But why are we getting different species of life? Why is somebody going to a hog life or a dog life, somebody becoming human, somebody becoming demigod? What is the real reason except karma?
Because of the desire, different kind of desire.
Desire, that is one thing. And what else?
And at the time of death, what we think?
Unfulfilled desires. Then at the time of death, whatever we
At time of death.
Okay. What else?
Past karma.
Past karma.
Except karma, okay. Yes, what else? Say, Karanam Guna Sangha Asya. It's mainly because of the modes of material nature we associate with. Somebody associate with Tamoguna will become what? Tamoguna. Sleeping, lazy.
Hog.
Animal life.
Animal life, or in a hellish planet, because somebody becoming lazy and more like to sleep more and eat such filthy things, live in such a place and go for sense gratification with no restrictions. All that is like an animal life. So definitely goes to an animal form or in a hellish planet. Somebody associating with Rajaguna takes birth in the earth, might be in human form again, but so much of passion and everything. Sattva Guna, definitely they go to heavenly planets or demigod planet, or it can also wear Shuddha Sattvagun to devotees. So somebody chanting Hare Krishna, definitely they don't go down to an animal form. That's guaranteed. Okay, that's guaranteed. So we can all be safe, but then we should know based on our karma again. So Shuchinam Srimadam Gehe, it is said that if we're not able to complete Krishna consciousness, definitely we get birth in a high aristocratic Brahmana family, Vaishnava family, so that we can start from where we stop, right? So, but then the desire is very important. And why Krishna is making it possible? Because the super soul fulfilled the desire of the atomic soul. As one friend fulfilled the desire of another. Because of the unfulfilled desires, we take birth. But mainly is because of the modes of nature we associate with. That's why we have these regulatory principles following no meat eating, no illicit sex, no intoxication, and no gambling, along with getting up early in the morning, Brahma Muhurta, taking a bath, taking Mangalarti, all this, taking Ekadashi Vrata, all this is for what? To make us purify, to elevate to Shuddha Sattvagun. So when we elevate ourselves to Shuddha Sattvagun, then what happens? Because of that, we are associated with the pure goodness, we can reach to the Vasudeva platform. The Shuddha Sattvagun, pure Sattvagun, or pure goodness is also called Vasudeva platform. Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shaktitam. Why? Because that's the platform where you realize Vasudeva. Okay, Krishna. So for that, that's why you have these 4 regulative principles. When you come to ISKCON, most of you are not able to take initiation. Why? Because you're not able to give up your tea, coffee, onion, garlic, and all that. Like, what is the problem if I take onion or garlic and tea, coffee, and chant Hare Krishna? The process won't work. Process will work. Definitely it will work. Harinam is not from this material world. Golagera Premadan Harinam Sankirtan, it's from the spiritual world. But for the process to really take place, in the sense, if you go to an Ayurvedic physician, there is medicine which is very powerful, nice, but it takes some time. Similarly, Harinam will take some time to reach to Shuddhanam, but he'll give you a type of a diet to be followed. No oily stuffs, no fried stuff, so many things. So if you follow that, the medicine will be more effective, right? So that's why, and chanting 16 rounds and then having tea, coffee, onion, garlic, it doesn't give you much benefit out of it. Your advancement will be very, very slow. You have seen a snail going very slow. But then those who have joined to ISKCON along with you would have really advanced well. Because of some family reasons, you're not able to take any session. That's a separate issue that only Krishna can solve. But still, we can follow, no? Might be others in the family not able to follow, at least you follow it. And Krishna will definitely help you. And you have the desire to take initiation, Krishna will definitely help. So forgetfulness of our relationship with Krishna by the atomic soul is the cause of our changing our position from one tree to another or from one body to another. Because we are forgetting Krishna, we are in pain, we are in suffering. So the Upanishad says, the soul and the super soul are like 2 birds sitting on the same tree. I think last week we discussed this, right? One bird is eating the fruit. Who is that? The soul. And the super soul is the witness. Okay, so that are 2 birds sitting in the same tree. So these are all can be expected, your Bhakti Shastri questions. All these are analogies, the different analogies you should be knowing. Nainam chindati shastrani, nainam dahati pavaka, na chainam pledyantepo, na shoshahiti maruta. So this is the property of the soul. The soul can never be cut into pieces by any weapon, nor burned by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by wind. So Krishna is saying, Arjuna, why are you worried? You're thinking that you're going to kill this body of your cousins and everything. With this weapon, you can't kill them because the soul cannot be cut into pieces by any weapon, not burnt by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by wind. So then what happens to an earthworm? You have an earthworm. Most of you have seen, like when you do gardening or something, you cut the earthworm. Earthworm, what happens? It becomes 2 and then both of it acts as 2 different living entities, right? Or does the one part die off? No. How is that possible?
Mataji, the super soul and soul stays in the Vayu, just you said, no, prana, apana, udana, maybe. 5 kind of life there.
Super soul? Okay, the Vayu is there, the 5 kind of air. So the soul resides where there is a maximum concentration of the 5 kinds of air, right?
Yeah, so I think this is what is happening is that when we're cutting it, that is not the concentrated point. That could be one reason.
No. When the earthworm is cut into two, the two parts act as different living entities. That means what? If a living entity has to move, what should be there?
Soul should be there.
Soul should be there. So when a earthworm is cut into two, you mean there are two souls? Or does the one soul get split into two? Okay, find out and come. This is like a home assignment research for next week. Okay, if you can get by the end of the class, good. So think. Achedyo, I am adyo, I am atledyo, shoshyaslyo. Evacha nitya sarvagadash. Stanor achalo, I am sanatanaha. This individual soul is unbreakable. Soul is unbreakable. We got the answer here. Now, when the earthworm, when you say the soul is that the soul getting split into two? No, it's unbreakable. You can't break the soul. And insoluble and can be neither burned nor dried. He's everlasting, present everywhere, unchangeable, immovable, and eternally. So living entities are there even in the sun planet. Okay. When we say that 4 lakh species of human, Chatur Lakshani Manava, it doesn't mean only in this planet. No, there are different planetary systems, and there is even higher planetary system. The sun is also one of the higher planetary systems. But in order to live in the sun planet, our body is made up of Panchabhutas. No, what are the Panchabhuta? Who knows?
Water, air, fire,
earth, ether.
Yeah. So these are the Panchabhutas, right? Earth, water, fire, air, ether. Now, this so that's what the gross body is made up of. The gross body is made up of the Panchabhutas. Now, in the Panchabhuta, earth, water, fire, air, ether, the fire component should be greater in a sun planet. So there are living entities in the sun planet. Only thing is your body is made up of fire. Unless your body is made up of fire, you can't enter into a sun planet. Similarly, did we go to the moon planet? So-called scientists.
Yes, we went.
We went?
Yes. They can't survive.
Yeah. How do you survive in moon planet? Moon planet is a higher planetary system, right? Can you go with this material body made up of earth, water, fire, air, ether into the moon planet?
No.
You have to read the book called Easy Journey to Other Planets by Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhupada mentions there in Easy Journey to the Other Planets, you cannot, life comes out to life. You can't go from this. And what is the lifespan of a moon planet? 10,000 years. So even if you go to the moon planet, how can you come back so soon? You have to live there for 10,000 years. And we are not qualified to go to that moon planet because our body is made up of, like a body should be made up of fire to go to sun planet. Your body should be made up of different components to go to the moon planet. It's not possible. And even if you have gone, you have to spend there 10,000 years and then come back. When you come back, these people won't be there. Whoever is here now, the media and the press people all would have dead and gone. So we can't come back. And then when we come back, what is and you go there and say that there is no life in a moon planet. That's what they say. No, there's no life. But with this charma chakshus, with this defective sense of eyes, which is made up of earth, water, fire, air, ether, we may not be able to see. Even if they have gone to the moon planet, they may not be able to see the living entities there. With this eyes, we cannot see them because their body is made up of different elements. But Shastra, Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra says that there are inhabitants in all the planetary systems. So there is life in moon also. But even the scientists are sometimes referred to as Maya Apahita Jnanam. They have a lot of knowledge, but thing is the Maya have captured that knowledge because they're not surrendered to Krishna. They're not believing the Shastra. That's why we have this planetary in Mayapur to show us the different planetary system and everything, to prove that there are life in other planets. So Prabhupada says that we have not gone to the moon planet. And he's an Acharya. You don't have to lie. And since Prabhupada said this, it became a revolution in ISKCON. And many of the disciples left ISKCON because of this. Prabhupada says, going to the moon planet is just waste of money and time. You can't go with this body. If you have to go, you should have a lot of pious activities and you should leave this body, your soul, and take a demigod body or a higher body and then go. We can't. So, okay, we'll have a quick breakout room. I'll break you to different rooms. Go to the rooms, discuss, and come back, and one person should represent the room. Okay, and say. So how is violence on the battlefield of Kurukshetra different from modern terrorism? So that's a question. Okay. So discuss in your own words the following with reference to verses, analogies, and statements from Prabhupada's purport. Refer to 21 and 27th sloka. So I'll put this question in the chat. Okay, how is violence in the battlefield of Kurukshetra different from modern terrorism? And you have to refer to verse number 21 and 27. So you go to the breakout room and first only discuss who is going to represent which room. Okay, remember which room you are in. Room number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So go and everyone should talk. Okay, not like somebody is silent in the class, somebody is dominating. No, everyone should be given chance and everyone put their inputs and one person summarize and come back and say. Okay, 10 minutes breakout room. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, requesting everyone to join the breakout room. There are some devotees who have not joined. Mitra Mataji, Prithvi Mataji, what happened? Shravani, Jayanta. Hi Krishna, all are back. Okay, so we'll take
Hare
the breakout room discussion towards the end. Okay, towards the end of the class. Oh, it's already 8:30. Yeah. So I'll unmute. Yeah, Nandita Mataji. She's not there. Okay, I'll get attendance form from her. So we'll start the discussion. If you're there, Mataji, you can put the attendance form.
Yes, Mataji, sure.
Yeah. So So who is ready from room number 1? Siddharth Prabhu, is it?
I'm saying Mataji.
Yeah, you can start.
Hare Krishna. So in our team we have 4 members. Primarily the question that how it is different, how the modern terrorism is different than the battle and the war in Kurukshetra. Point number 1 difference is that whether it is in the sanction of Krishna it is happening or it is happening in the self-interest. That is the first difference. If we go to the analogy and other things, then in the first one, Abheda Vinashanang Nityang Ena Ajam Abhyam and Kang Ghate Hanti Kim come. Here there are 2-3 analogies are there. One is that in the Manu Samhita, it is written that a murderer, if it is killed by king's judgment as per the law, then of course his sinful reactions are diminished. However, this should not be taken as a sanction of Manu Samhita or a sanction of Krishna that anyone on the street is allowed for this violence. It is only the king and whoever Shastra allows, only he is eligible to do this to bring justice and to bring the social order in the system. That is the shloka number 1, verse number 1. And the analogy is also given like a patient where the surgery happens, then the surgery is good for the patient. Similarly, the battle is good for bringing normalcy in the society. However, this should not be taken as a sanction of Krishna that this violence is allowed. Second verse is talking about the second verse is talking about the 27th verse. I'm sorry. Jatasya dhruvam mrityu dhruvam janma mrutasya cha. So whoever takes birth also will definitely die. Whoever is dying will also take birth. So therefore all these things, nothing to lament for that. So if you murder also, nothing happens because in any case you cannot murder soul, etc. So, but here also the sang whether Arjuna is doing the battle with the full knowledge that it is sanctioned by Krishna and for the interest of Krishna, then only it is allowed. Otherwise, it is not. Second, even if he tries to, let's say, save his relatives and all that, then also he cannot save because they will die. So the result will be that his such actions will not be taken in the right perspective, and he will be called as a somebody who is a cleaver. Hare Krishna Mata.
Hare Krishna. Okay, nice. So what about please mark the attendance. Okay, Mataji have shared. What about room number 2? Balaji Prabhu, Nandita Nita Mataji.
I'll start it.
Yes,
I'll do it, Mataji. So Mataji, we actually we are starting from the verse 27, where Prabhupada has also explained that although the cycle of birth and death it continues, but that cannot be taken as an excuse to do unnecessary murder or slaughter. But of course, violence has its utility. Now the main difference between the terrorism modern and the war of Kurukshetra is one, for what cause it was done, and the next was the war of Kurukshetra. Arjuna actually was doing with full knowledge. But these people, when they do, although they say that we are doing it for religion, but they don't have the knowledge of what actually are religious principles. So the analogy also, which although it was not there in this purport, but I have heard it from other lecture. I think you also had mentioned in one of the lecture that when a army person actually fights on the order of his officer, so he does not get punishment for that. But if the same officer comes back home and kills somebody for his own this thing, then he'll be punished. So if you actually do it for the cause or on the order of your superior, then it is okay, because it is actually done to fight or remove the aggressors on the other side. But if you then do it for your own cause without understanding why you are doing and without having the actual knowledge, then that is wrong. Then so again, as Prabhupada said, that how the violence has to be applied actually rests on the knowledge of the person. So if really he is in the actual knowledge of what are the religious principles, then that is okay. And so this modern terrorism, of course, is actually insensible and yes, Mataji.
Hi Krishna, yes, Prabhu. So very nice example of how a soldier, soldier in the battlefield, if he kills somebody, he's given so much of honor. But then the same soldier comes home and kills his own brother, then he is behind the bars of the jail. So that means, okay, killing in the battlefield, okay, there is no sin, but killing for the personal sense gratification. And in the first group also, as they mentioned about the surgery for the patient, it's for good for the patient. So these are all nice analogies. Yeah, room number 3. Atiti, Dattreya Prabhu, Mausu Mataji, Puja Mataji, Sharan.
Hare Krishna Mataji. I'm taking. If you just compare the two things, one is the war at the Kurukshetra and the terrorist attack on the innocent human beings. We see that in the Kurukshetra war, actually, it was first it was the permission of the Krishna, with the full knowledge of the Krishna, and it was actually a Kshatriya dharma, which was upholding, Arjuna is upholding. Second, the most important is that it is what war was at a particular place, and it was following certain principles and guidelines, that the war will start at such and such time and will stop at the sunset, and no innocent peoples were involved in that. Only the people who were in the battlefield. So only the people involved in the battlefield involved, and the larger crowd were not involved. So it was, since it was the war of the Kshatriya war for upholding the dharma, so there was no sinful reactions for killing the opposite armies. It was mainly for the rightful cause. And in the present day war, actually see what the terrorists attacking, they're not differentiating between who is and what. They're actually killing their innocent school children. They're bombing the hospitals. So there is no discrimination based on their thing, and that has been done totally on the self-interest, and it is full of sinful reactions. Whereas in the case of the Kshatriya war, there is no sinful reactions actually. There is the main difference. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu. Okay, nice. So what about room number 4? Any other extra
Hare Krishna
point?
Mataji. Yes,
Yes.
Mataji. Kurukshetra war was to protect the society, whereas terrorism always destroys the society, Mataji. And in Kurukshetra war, there was no sin incurred, as everyone mentioned. But to reduce the sin of the terrorists, in the terrorists, no, Mataji, they have to be punished so that their sin reduces at least little bit. And also one analogy I am remembering, Mataji, the Kurukshetra war is like bird looking at Krishna and doing the action, while the other is like eating fruit on the tree when Krishna was there, but not looking at Krishna and eating its own fruit for its sense gratification, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, good. Okay. So that's basically for sense gratification. Okay. And for Krishna consciousness, the true things. Okay, the last room, Arpit Prabhu, Mamta Mataji, Nagni Mataji, and Radha Sarojini Devi Dasi Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yeah, who's speaking?
Yes, Mataji, I'm speaking.
Yeah, ma'am.
In the Kshetra war, the Krishna was present there, and anybody who had died there, they would have gone to the heavenly planet. And in this nowadays war, the people are not going to heavenly planet. We don't know where they are going because we don't know when they are dying, but they're because they're fighting for. Like everybody mentioned, they are fighting for their own ego and own pride, and they want to hold everything, for their self gratification. And one more thing is, everything we discussed, it has been discussed, but one more thing was that, 1 second. Arpit Prabhuji, you mentioned something from 7, 6. Could you just take it?
The 6 aggressors, is it?
The Arpit Prabhu.
Arpit Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, he mentioned something.
Okay, so what you told he's not unmuting. Okay, what you told Mataji, like when Krishna is present, like when somebody is dying in the presence of Krishna with the hands of, they don't go to heavenly planets, they go to his planet, like Krishna's world, either Krishna Loka, that is Goloka or Vaikunta, because heavenly planets, again we are going to come back. Shrine Punye Martilogam Vishanti. Even if somebody goes to somebody who did a lot of pious works, pious activities, they'll go to heavenly planets. But what is the use of going to heavenly planets? Shrine Punye Martilogam Vishanti. In the sense, once the pious activities is done, it's like a visa, visiting visa. You go and the visa is over, you come back. So in heavenly planets, you go, you enjoy there, but you have to come back to the earthly planet. Okay, again. So, but those who are in the Kurukshetra battlefield, who was there in the presence of Krishna, anybody knows who Barbaric was? Barbaric?
Bhima's son,
Mataji. Gatotgat son.
Yeah, Bhima's grandson actually. So Bhima's sons, Gadotkaja and his sons. So what did Barbaric see? The end.
He says Krishna is
fighting.
Yeah.
Krishna
So actually his head was cut and kept on the top of a hill, and Barbaric could actually see the whole battle happening. At the end, somebody asked Barbaric, so how was the fight? How was Duryodhana fight? How did Arjuna fight? It's like, Arjuna, Duryodhana, I didn't see anybody fighting. It was only Krishna fighting. Krishna was fighting from this side, he was from that side. Everything was Krishna. Like how Krishna expanded to millions form of in the Rasa Leela with the gopis, and how Krishna expands, to do his pastime. So similarly, Krishna was doing everything. Arjuna was just an instrument. Nimitta matram bhavisa pisachin. So it's actually Krishna who was doing it. Okay. So whoever got killed by Krishna's hand, definitely they go back to Krishna's world. And they're all Krishna's associates. And it says, normally non-devotees or demons, they get Sayuja Mukti, merging into the Brahman effulgence. But here in the battlefield, especially in Bhishma Stuti in Bhagavatam explains that because Bhishma Dev and others saw the 200 Shyam-Sundar form of the Lord, the 200 form of the Lord, they all got Sarubhyam. They went back to his abode. They are all his eternal associates. Okay. So yes, but when you fight in the battlefield, in terrorism, we really don't know. We know where they're going to go to hellish planets, because what are they going to do? Terrorism means what? Destroying some country, some people, all are brothers, universal brotherhood. But then terrorism is for sense gratification. Actually, we think the opposite country is our enemy. The Prabhupada says that so much you think about that country, that next life, you might be born in that country. Whoever is your enemy this time, you might take rebirth in that country because you constantly think about that country. And you may not have a human form. Maybe you are a dog in that country or some animal. Possible, right? It depends on the desire we had. So somebody, there is something called bioterrorism, and there is also like some bombs they keep, that they suicidal bombs, like they themselves give up their life just to destroy others, right? So what is their thought at that time? To destroy people and all that. So definitely they are going to have a bad life next time. and terrorism, it incurs a lot of sin. Definitely they're going to hellish planet. But on the other hand, fighting on the battlefield, which Arjuna did, was in Krishna consciousness, right? It's for Krishna. And definitely there's no sin incurred. Yes, Pooja Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Mataji, Hare Krishna. Just wanted to raise one point. Just correct me if it is relevant or what. But then it's been said that in Dwapar Yuga, the war was between the relatives, that it's two brothers. And in Kali Yuga, the war is within us, that Prahlad Maharaj said, where he was finding the enemy outside. It is within you. So you're fighting within us. So that is the main difference even I could find.
Yeah, very good point. So yes, so the war is actually between us and our mind. Actually, the uncontrolled mind is our enemy. So there is, as Prahlad said to Hiranyakashipu, that you don't have to search for Vishnu. The enemy is within yourself. Your own mind is the enemy. So yes, if it's an uncontrolled mind, definitely it's going to be our enemy. But for a controlled mind, it's going to be our friend. So yes. So the fight or the terrorism is happening within us. So that's why we have our friend is Krishna and his holy name, devotees and Shastra and association and everything, so that we come out of that enemy or we come out of that situation and there is cleanliness, cleaning of the heart happening. Okay. Any other extra points or can we stop here? So yes, Sharanya Mataji, you can unmute.
Mataji, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
Yes, and in this war, we realize that when we are killing somebody, we are disturbing the cycle of birth and death, right? Because people, the human, like everybody has their cycle. They are coming in this world because of their karma, and that's Krishna's plan. And when we are disturbing Krishna's nature when we kill other people. That was other point we had it.
Yeah, very good. Yes. So we're disturbing Krishna's plan in that way. Snigdha Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Actually, I have one doubt. In 2.26, it was given there are two types of philosophy. One is
26. We didn't come to 26. We just stopped at 24 today. We'll come to 26 next week. Okay.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you.
From 25, we'll start next week.
Mataji, can we add this point that present day we don't have the weapons made of air, water, and ether? That previously we used to have different types of weapons like made of earth, water, air, fire, and ether. Can we add this point also, Mataji, in that?
Yeah, what the bodies earth, water, fire, air, ether, right?
Like before, we used to have fire weapons which are countered by water weapons. Now we don't have such technology.
Oh, the fire weapons. Okay. Yeah. Yes.
Can we add this point, Mataji?
Yes.
Is it relevant?
Yes. Okay. I think we can end here. No more things to add.
Mataji, till what verse should we study and come for the next class? From 24 to?
So from 24, right? We'll be able to cover only 20-25 slokas. So might be till 50.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you.
Jyoti Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. May I ask one question, Mataji? Mataji, regarding our next birth, there are several things defines our next birth, like the prarabdha karma and the mood which we have at the time of death, our material nature, like, which guna we have. But what exactly drives us to the next birth, Mataji? There are different types of, like, karma is there, material nature is there, and even the mood at the time of death.
Yeah. So karma, definitely it is there. A part of it is in karma also, because if there is a good karma left, that based on that we are going to get pious body, but based on that karma. But karmana devanitra, that karma also can be changed by Krishna. If somebody who's a sinful person but took up to Krishna consciousness, then Krishna will aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami mokshaja. Krishna says that he'll take away all his sinful activities. So his karma can be changed. So karma is below Krishna. So karma is not the real reason, main reason. Okay, and the three modes of material nature also, person can change. Like Mrigari was a hunter and he used to half kill animals. And just by Narad Muni's association, he became a pure devotee. Or Ratnagar became Valmiki Muni. Okay, how? By association of devotees. So when we associate in any modes of material nature, that can change. From Tamoguna, you can directly go to Sattoguna. We all can recall how we were before coming to Krishna consciousness, most of us, right? Not everyone, but still. So how we have changed, especially from Tamoguna, Rajoguna, we have come to Sattoguna, not Shuddha Sattoguna, at least Sattoguna we have come following the 4 regulative principles and everything. So the mode of material nature also can change. So, but the desire or the thought at the time of leaving the body, no, yam yam vapi smaran bhava tyajit tante kalaivaram tam tam evaiti kaunteya sada tat bhava bhavita, or antakale shamameva smaran mukta kalaivaram. So Krishna says in the 8th chapter that definitely whatever we desire at the time of death is very, very important, Mataji. Because Bharat Maharaj became a deer, if you remember, at the time of death. Ajamila thought of, called Narayan, his son, and got a second chance. So what desire we have towards the end of the life is very, very important. And that depends upon the mode of material nature we associate with. So everything is intermingled. We can't say that this is a specific reason for us to get the next body. But we can be sure that those on Krishna consciousness chanting the holy name, at least we won't go to animal form of life. It says, Salpam abhyasya dharmasya traide mahdo bhayat. Whatever great devotional service we did, small or big, whatever we did, it will save you from great dangers of going to animal form of life. So in that way, we can be assured of human form, minimum. Yes, Pushti Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, if the person is in the coma, what happens, Mataji?
At that stage, it's very difficult because the consciousness is not fully awake. In the sense, it might be in a subconscious way or no consciousness, no? So at that stage, it is said that if they are a devotee, Krishna says, somebody asked Prabhupada, like, what if somebody dies at the time of death or during deep sleep? They are not able to see. When we remember Krishna at the time of death, we go back to Krishna. So what if we are not able to remember Krishna? If you are in a coma state, you're in an accident or in a deep sleep where the soul left the body, what about them then? We are not able to remember Krishna, then what to do? So Krishna says, Aham smarami matvatta, I will remember my devotees. That's what Krishna says. So that means even if a devotee forgets Krishna, Krishna will remember the devotee. So in a coma state, if they are a devotee, if they were chanting the holy name is actually in the spirit soul. It's not for the body. So if they are a little bit conscious, they can still, that's why such patients are made to hear the holy name. Devotees go to them and put tilak and make them hear Prabhupada's lecture chanting. They sit around them and chant, and because that vibration is so nice, that person was in coma, but still tears might come from his eyes because the holy name is touching his soul. So it depends on the consciousness level with which that person is awakeful, because the soul have not left the body yet. So consciousness is there, but it's been hampered by so many ways. So it depends on what their subconscious mind is about, Mataji. That's why we are practicing. We are chanting 16 rounds. We are practicing so that we don't forget Krishna. And that should be the prayer of a devotee, that we should never forget Krishna, and we should be careful of Maya. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare
Mataji,
Krishna.
just a small question. Mataji mentioned about, that the modern terrorism, killing somebody, that you actually disturbing the Krishna's plan. Then I'm finding it a bit difficult to accept that, if Krishna is a supreme, then how can anybody do anything against Krishna? Do you think that person is
for terrorism?
Yeah. How
that's a nice
how
question.
So if it's Krishna, nothing happened without Krishna's wish, So how can somebody behave such a way, and then we can say that he's disturbing Krishna's plan?
Yeah, nice. Not even a blade of grass moves without Krishna's sanction, right? So nothing in the world happens without Krishna's sanction. Why is terrorism happening? Why is rape happening? Why is murder and theft and so many bad things happening around the world? Why Krishna is allowing it to happen, right? So that's a question, that nice question. So why Krishna is doing this? Krishna could have stopped everything. Why is Krishna doing this? So it's not Krishna who's doing it. It's actually the soul who's desiring it. For example, you have a child and the child is so adamant to play with a knife or to touch the fire. Now some kids are they throw temper tantrums and so many things, hit their head on the floor and not eat and do so many tantrums that kid want to play with the knife. You know, as a father or mother, that the knife is not it's dangerous for the child. But then you keep on taking away the knife, the child again and again and comes and puts up the tantrum and don't eat and don't sleep and puts a mess in the house. Then what do you do finally? Okay, chalo, play with the knife, and you learn from that. You cut your hand or you burn your fingers and you learn from that mistake. Or a child who wants to have something, but you know that it's not good for that child. But the child is so adamant that I want to eat ice cream. And you know as a parent that it's going to bring cold or fever for the child. But if the child is so adamant, as a sweet father or mother, you allow the child to do it and to learn from that mistake. So Krishna is just a witness, okay? Whatever is happening around us, bad things, good things, it's for according to our desire. It's our desire. We can't blame Krishna for everything what's happening. Terrorism and that is happening, this is taking, why Krishna you are making it happen? No, Krishna is a sanctioner. Because the soul is so adamant, so badly wanted to have that desire, Krishna sanctions it as a sweet father to teach a lesson to that soul, actually. So that's why this is happening. And it's karma, Mataji. If somebody is killing someone, that means in previous life, some janma, that soul have killed the other person. You understood? That's called mamsa. Mamsa means I give you the permission to kill me, I'll kill you in this life. So the karma has to happen. Okay, so Krishna is just an instrument or a witness there in that way. And sometimes it happens to devotees. That's Krishna's special mercy. We are supposed to suffer so much. Krishna made it suffer so much, very little. And the devotee takes it as special mercy of Krishna. But that person has to learn from that mistake. But most of the time it doesn't happen. They do it again and again. It's mainly because Rajagun and Tamagun dominating. There are so many asuric qualities in them. That's why Kalki has to appear, no? After 4,27,000 years, Lord come as Kalki and destroy everyone. Because Kali Yuga is going to get degraded again and again. So this 10,000 years is called the golden age of Kali, where we have these law books of Srila Prabhupada's books and Shastras, so that we can get out of this miserable condition. But as a sweet father, Krishna is just allowing it, sanctioning, because the soul is so adamant and so much desire to do it. Krishna just allows it. But Krishna is very painful to see all that. Krishna actually wanted to stop, but then what to do? Sometimes it is good for them in the sense many of them change after that, no? They put to jail because of that, and they feel sorry for what they had done, and they change in life. They come to Krishna consciousness after that. So it just and also some karma binding, some kind of suffering has to be done called prarabdha karma. Okay, so that's why Krishna makes it happen. Otherwise, Krishna would have stopped it.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Okay, I think we can end here. It's 9 o'clock already. Thank you everyone for joining. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripasya.